In this video, I'm going to teach you why your dog jumps and most importantly, how to stop it. Jumping on you, jumping on your guests, and jumping on your furniture. Jumping is a super common puppy behavior, but the good news is we can change it. Remember with behaviors like jumping, when your puppy's small, you might not think it matters. They're just little, it doesn't hurt when they jump on you, but you want to think, okay, how big is my dog going to be full size? And is this a habit that I want them to create? First, let's talk about why puppies jump. I promise they don't do it to annoy you. Puppies jump because they're excited, they're curious, and they love attention. We are much taller than they are, so they're often trying to get up to where our faces are. While jumping is a natural dog behavior, it can be problematic in certain scenarios. How do I stop my dog from jumping? I promise it's so much easier to train your dog what to do than to teach them not to do something. So we're going to focus on what do I want my dog to do in different scenarios. When your puppy jumps on you, it's tempting to push them down or give them attention for that, but recognize that will reinforce the jumping behavior, which is what we don't want. If your puppy jumps, immediately turn away. No eye contact, no touching, no talking. Puppies need to learn that jumping does not equal attention. Step 2 is to reward calm behavior. So as soon as our puppy has all 4 paws on the ground, we can mark yes and reward them for that. We want to make sure that they understand, oh, keeping my paws on the ground is what gets me the good stuff. Another thing that helps keep your puppy's paws on the ground is to just drop a little food scatter on the floor. Scatter 2 to 3 little food rewards on the ground, point them out, help your puppy find them. They think that's a fun game and it keeps their paws on the ground. Step 3 is teaching an alternative behavior. This part is my favorite. If we can focus on what we want our dog to do rather than what we don't want them to do, training is much easier. So 90% of the time, I want you to be proactive. I want you to be one step ahead of your dog. If they come running at you across the room, anticipate they're going to jump on you. Instead of waiting for that jump, I want you to show them what to do. Put out a little target hand down low underneath their mouth so they're looking down at the ground, lure them into the sit, mark yes when they sit, and pay them. And then you can get out a little toy, toss it, play a little tug, and then you can practice again. Take a few steps away from them. When they get to you, help them sit. Take a few steps away. When they get to you, help them sit. Here at Baxter & Bella, we call this sit to say please. We teach you all about it in our program. And then if needed, you can always put them in a crate, pen, or tether them while you get something done and you can't manage their behavior. We don't want them to come back to the jumping behavior. I get it, life happens, but do your best to anticipate the behavior and prevent it. So I see my dog running across the room at me. Before they get to me, I'm going to pop out that target hand, show them that I'd rather have them sit, mark yes, and reward them for sitting. I want to do that 90% of the time. 10% of the time, I get it, life happens, you miss it, they've already jumped on you, and yes, you need to redirect them away from you or off of you. But 90% of the time, you can stay ahead of this behavior. Guests are often a bigger trigger for puppies. They're new, they're exciting, they smell differently. Here's how to handle it. Number 1 is to manage the situation. Before we let the guest in, let's make sure our puppy's on a leash or they are in a crate or behind an exercise pen so they don't have access to our guest. Number 2 is to practice greetings. Set up scenarios where we teach our puppy what to do when someone enters our home. This is where that sit to say please game comes in play as well. We can ask our guests to completely ignore our puppy unless the puppy is sitting. To help our puppy do this, we can show them what to do. We can use food rewards. We can also try having the guest or myself toss a food reward away from them so that my puppy turns and moves towards the food reward. When they come back, do it again. And when the puppy comes back, do it again. That 3rd or 4th time that puppy's going to come back, sit and be like, hey, throw my next food reward. It's a fun little game and your puppy's going to like it. That will also help keep their paws on the ground and not on your guest. Immediately follow that behavior up with a simple game of tug or a simple game of fetch. Toss this toy and let your puppy go chase it. But we want to get their brain channel off of the jumping and onto something else. Be proactive and show your puppy what you want them to do when a guest arrives. And then we just practice it over and over and over again. You can set up scenarios with your own family, practice with your kids, practice with their friends, practice with your friends that can come over and give you 5 to 10 minutes of their time. Because dogs learn in patterns, patterns have to be practiced, and over time your puppy will learn what to do when a guest comes. If you decide that you don't want your puppy to jump on your sofas or you don't want them up on your furniture, give them an alternative. Put a dog bed nearby that you can redirect them to and then mark yes and reward them for going to their bed. And every so often, you just add a little food reward and you build out the duration of that behavior. So then we practice walking into the room with the sofas, the dog goes to their bed, they are rewarded for staying on their mat, and then there's no jumping on the sofas. So we're giving them a good alternative behavior to do. Again, Focus on what do I want my dog to do. You're replacing the opportunity to jump on the sofa and lay up there with this is where you go and lay when we come into this room. In our home, we don't mind that our dogs join us up here on our sofas. We think it's relaxing. We like to snuggle with them and love on them. But I don't like my dogs on my tables or my counters. Step number one when it comes to furniture is to prevent access. So keep your dog on a tether. You can keep baby gates or exercise pens close by, that you're preventing access from them getting to your tables or your counters or your sofas, whatever the furniture is that you don't want them on. Step number two is to redirect them. If my dog is already on my kitchen counter, his paws are already up there, it's too late to prevent, so I need to take action. I simply want to interrupt and redirect my puppy off of the counter and then show him a better behavior to do. Then remember the 90-10 rule. Rather than sticking to the reacting side of things, after my dog's on the counter, I get him off. My dog's on the counter, I say off. My dog's on the counter, I say off. You can see how that could become a vicious cycle. We want to be ahead of the behavior, remember? So when my puppy comes in the kitchen, we want to practice what I want them to do when they're in the kitchen. If I want my dog to stay off the table and the counters, I need to teach them a better behavior. So at my house, we have a dog bed in the dining room, and when we run into the kitchen, I'm not really running into my kitchen, when my dog runs into the kitchen, they head to their bed. A dog bed or crate can be a great alternative to jumping on furniture, especially if those items are placed in the same room where the furniture is. Show your dog what to do before they jump on the furniture. Teach them that going to a bed means that they'll get food rewards. And then we build out that duration longer and longer until they can hold that behavior and we can enjoy doing what we're doing in the room we're in. To create a habit, we're going to want to practice that pattern. So we practice walking into the kitchen. I'm showing my dog how to go over to their bed. I'm rewarding them for being on their bed. And then we exit and we try again. We'll repeat that pattern over and over until our puppy learns, when we walk into the kitchen, this is where I go. When we walk into the kitchen, Bella heads straight for her little red bed. She knows that's where the good stuff happens at our house. And guess what? There's no jumping on my counters. Stopping jumping is all about patience and consistency. Remember, dogs jump because they're excited to see us or see our guests, or they love to get on the furniture, or they want to find some food on the counter. So remember to show your dog what you want them to do in each of these specific scenarios, and then we practice those patterns over and over until they learn exactly what we want them to do. Remember, to a dog, jumping is a normal, natural behavior. They see nothing wrong with it. So when they come and live with us in our human households, we've got to teach them, hey, this is the behavior we like to see. With a little practice, your puppy will learn that keeping all four paws on the ground is worth it. I'd love to hear what you guys think about jumping. Do you like dogs jumping on you? Do you not like it? Some do, some don't. Drop me some comments down below. And then don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and share this with all of your puppy parent friends. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this video and want to see more, you can check it out right over here.